Hey there, you're watching CITAM Church Online. And today we continue on that series. We've been looking at being conflicted. And today I want to challenge you to keep yourself in check. Because if you keep yourself in check, you will be setting yourself on that pathway to greater peace. If you keep, more specifically, your desires in check, you will be setting yourself on the pathway to peace. When you think about it, in our day and age, we've been told, eat, drink, be merry, for tomorrow we die. You know, that's one of those Greek proverbs. And somehow it's been rehashed in our day and age, the spirit of hedonism, of idolizing pleasure. And what it says is, the more you enjoy yourself, the more you throw caution to the wind, and you just give full sway to your desires, then the happier you're going to be. But the reality is that if you live your life that way, you will end up being more conflicted. And we see this in what James, the sage, tells us in his book, in James chapter 4. Remember, James is like New Testament Proverbs. And so it's giving us wisdom to tackle different areas of life. And one of those areas he talks about is conflicts, being conflicted. He says conflict is an inside job. It's actually, don't externalize. Conflicts stem from inside. And they stem from inside from these desires that are unrestrained. And let's read from James chapter 4, verse 2. The Bible says, let's start from verse 1. Those conflicts and disputes among you, where do they come from? Do they not come from your cravings that are at war within you? You want something and do not have it, and so you commit murder. And I want to emphasize that part where he's saying, do they not come from cravings that are at war within you? You know, these are cravings that basically, they're almost, the desires are becoming over desires. They are crossing over the boundaries. And to sort of bring it home, think about it. You've said to yourself, you're going to get home, you're going to watch that series, and you keep watching, and you think that the more you watch, the more you'll be at peace. Or the more you watch, the binge watching, you actually sometimes end up feeling a bit guilty. You end up feeling like, why did I invest so much time in this series? And I could have, I could have done something more productive. And that's just one example of how when our desires become over desires, when our desires, which are God-given, and they ought to be healthy, they ought to be expressed in healthy ways, when they become over desires, when they are not kept in check, what ends up happening is that they wage war within us. They bring about a conflict. You become a person who is not at peace with yourself. It could be in the area of food. It could be in the area of either overeating or undereating. And these are just ordinary human desires that you and I have. But if we do not keep them in check, if we do not allow them to be expressed in healthy ways, then what will happen is that we'll be setting ourselves on a pathway of being conflicted as human beings. So I want to challenge you to keep yourself in check. Keep those desires in check. You can even checkmate them. And you can say to yourself that I'd rather be this person who has mastery over self than to be a ruler of many, many cities. In other words, I'd rather have self-mastery than to have so many positions. I may be in positions of authority all around, but if I do not have self-mastery, Old Testament sage tells us, Solomon tells us, if you do not have that, then you're just like a dam that is about to burst its walls. Today, I'm challenging you to place your feet upon the pathway that leads to peace. And what's that pathway? It's a pathway of self-mastery. It's a pathway of keeping those God-given desires in check so that they don't override you, they don't overrun your destiny, they don't sabotage or shipwreck your God-given purpose. I pray that if you've been in that space, that this video will be like a breath of life telling you you can actually rise up. Your desires don't have to master you. Sin doesn't have to have dominion over you. That's my prayer for you, and my prayer is that you will experience God's peace as you keep those things in check. God bless you.